Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Welcome sa October 2, 2020 edition ng The Stock Market Today. May magandang balita po ako sa inyo. 84 days na lang, pasko na. Ngayon ay thank God it's Friday. Ako po si Benji Chidoro. I hope you're looking forward to a restful weekend. And our news is on Metro Pacific, URC, and the coming Converge IPO. Plus, a summary of the latest happenings sa Philippine Stock Exchange ngayong araw dito lamang sa The Stock Market Today. Bago po ang lahat, basahin po muna natin ang ating mga reminders. At habang binabasa po natin ito, kung first time po ninyo dito sa ating channel, ay nag-start lang po ako last August at ginagawa ko po ang stock market report everyday. Kaya nag-i-invite po ako sa inyo mag-subscribe sa aking channel para palagi tayong updated sa mga balita at impormasyon tungkol sa stock market at ang mga active stocks sa merkado. Ako po ay isang retired employee ng isa sa pinakamalaking bangko sa Pilipinas. Naging OFW din po ako nung ma-assign po ako sa aming branch sa Hong Kong. Mga 8 months akong namalagi sa ibang bansa. At pagkatapos noon ay na-assign po ako di man dapat na maging Chief Compliance Officer ng isang subsidiary ng bangko. Early in 2000 ay nag-start po ako mag-invest regularly sa UITFs. Pagkatapos ay sa stocks. Ang pinakaunang investment ko sa stocks ay hindi sa Philippines. Foreign stock po siya. Anyway, that's another story. Dito po muna tayo sa ating mga balita. Ito po ay news from yesterday's trading at the PSE. Blue chips make for beautiful bargain as PSEI aims for 6,000. The benchmark Philippine Stock Exchange Index rose on Thursday as investors swooped in and picked up bargains among major conglomerates and property firms. So the PSEI, as we reported yesterday, was up 1.38% or 80.64 points to end up at 59.44 or just 65 points away from the 6,000 level. So according to Chris Mangun, research head at AAA Equities, the diminished selling pressure signaled buyers to come in and pick up battered blue chips. So if you'll go to the Manila Times, they added additional data wherein China factory data gains in property lift PF shares. Diversified Securities Inc. trader Anicia Tupangan said the bourse rose higher after China reported an improvement in factory activity in September. So let's take a look at another news on Metro Pacific. Okay, Metro Pacific has a buyback program. MPIC to buy back 5 billion shares. Metro Pacific Investment Corp or MPIC is launching a 5 billion share buyback program to help boost its value to shareholders. So probably the price of the share right now is very cheap and probably undervalued. So that's my guess. The company is targeting to buy up to 5 billion shares. And the buyback program will last until the allotment amount is fully consumed. So this is the purpose. The purpose of the share buyback program is to enhance and improve shareholder value and to manifest confidence in a company's value and prospects through the repurchase of its common shares. MPIC said that it is triggered to do buyback transactions when it feels its stock is substantially undervalued. So they say it's undervalued and the share prices are highly volatile. And finally, we have news on Converge. They will be doing an IPO, and this is from the Philippine Star. PSE approves Converge IPO. It's all systems go for Converge ICT's initial public offering of up to 41.55 billion after getting the nod of the PSE late Wednesday. Last week, the SEC also approved Converge IPO, the second company to brave the stock market this year after the blockbuster IPO of Edgar Injap CS Merrimart last June. Approximately 90% of the net proceeds will be used to fund capital expenditures for the purpose of accelerating its nationwide fiber network rollout. Whose dream for Converge and the country is to have all three major islands of the Philippines, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, connected under Converge system by early 2021. They're offering the shares at the maximum price of 24 pesos per share. So let's now take a look at the PSE and what happened to the trading today. Ang PSE ay natapos sa 5,999.40 or 0.6 points na lang 6,000 na. So nag-open siya sa 59.42 at nag-close siya sa 59.99 or 54.53 points up. And ito po yung second day na siya ay tumaas. Ang kanyang volume ay 1.47 billion, valued at 4.91 billion, at meron po siyang net foreign selling 268.64 million. Tingnan po natin ang summary. 93 sa mga stocks ang nag-advance, 92 declined, while 57 remained unchanged. And as for the indices, all indices registered a positive change, and this was led by properties at 0.99%, followed by the holding companies at 0.98%. And financials registered a net foreign buying. Ganon din naman ang mining at properties. On the all index shares, it registered a 0.67% increase. So let's take a look at the most active stocks. Ito pang titignan natin today. Dito, MPI, C, URC, Now, Tel, Merrimart, IDC, Green, MPI, MWIDE. Okay, so let's start with Dito. Dito, several days ng very active. Okay, another green candlestick for Dito, but there was a week in both ends. So, ibig sabihin lang po nito ay meron po siyang, nag-high po siya ng 6.90 pero it was pushed down by the sellers at nag-low din siya ng 5.31 pero it was pushed up by buyers. So, kung titignan natin yung intraday, kung ano nangyari sa kanya, eto. So, nag-start siya dito, here, no, nagkaroon siya ng increase dyan. So, tapos nag-profit taking, increase ulit, nag-consolidate, tumaas, tapos nag-consolidate, and then finally, in the last minutes ay tumaas. So, tingnan natin, balikan natin yung daily chart. So, there is volume, and the stock is very strong. Just like what I've said yesterday, the volume may push the price higher, and it did. So, did it break the resistance? Let's see. Let's go to the weekly time frame. Okay, it broke the resistance here at 551, but it continued to move higher. The next resistance is here, 621. By the way, this is a weekly chart, and the next resistance after that is at 7. So, I'm sorry, it almost reached 6 the other day. So 5.9 was the highest. So I expect the stock to probably move a bit higher or baka lang mag-consolidate. Kasi the volume is very strong, as well as the RSI, it's also strong. And if you look at the directional movement index or DMI, one of my favorite indicators, there is strong there is a strong trend, 54. Kasi po kung ang DMI ay 30 or more, strong po ang trend. And the trend is upwards. However, there is net foreign selling at 5.43 million. So let's take a look at the next stock. By the way, if you wanted me to review your stock, please drop me a comment and I will review it for you. So kung meron po kayong stock na napupusuan, or kinakapatid o iniibig, ay maglagay po lang po kayo ng comment at I'll try my best to review it. Let's take a look at MPI. MPI is green. Oops. Yes, there's an upside for MPI. And remember, MPI had a buyback program. Nagiging issue ko lang dito is the gap. Meron siyang gap up here. And knowing that there is a gap, meaning that the opening price is higher than the closing price, that gap will have to be filled sometime in the future. But one good news is that there was volume. But there's a long wick here, which means that during the day, the price moved higher, but sellers pushed the prices down to settle at 370. So it went as high as 378. Again, like dito, there was net foreign selling, 135.118 million. Actually, the stock may reach this resistance level. If it moves higher, then it will reach the next resistance at 388 or 390. That's the next resistance level. However, punta tayo dito sa exponential. I see an upward channel actually here. It starts here. Ayan yung trend line niya. Yan yung upward channel. So, it's just moving above the MA20. By the way, the indicator that I'm using is the 20-day exponential moving average represented by the orange line. That is my short-term indicator. The 50-day exponential moving average represented by the blue line. That is my medium-term indicator. And the exponential moving average for 100 days represented by the black line, which is my long-term indicator. So what it really means actually is that if the candlestick is above the indicator, the price movement is bullish. Basically, if it is above the indicator, the EMA20, the price is bullish. However, if the 20-day moving average is above, or the candlestick is below the 20-day moving average, it represents a bearish indicator, meaning pababa yung trend. Bullish meaning pataas. Remember the bear, anong ginagawa ng bear? They claw you down, di ba? They force you down. Kaya bearish. Yung bull naman, sinusungayon ka pataas. So, ang tawag doon, bullish, pataas. Yan yung mga terms na ginagamit natin sa stock market. So, there is a channel here, and I expect the price to move upwards within this channel. May concern lamang po ako dito sa gap, which has to be filled sometime soon. And I expect the stock to move upwards within this channel unless there is strong volume that would indicate a breakout. Maganda po kasi ang fundamentals ng Metro Pacific, and they have very good businesses. Hospitals, tollways, their eyeing power. They have a wide range of businesses. Power, actually Power, Meralco kanila yun eh. They control Meralco. Okay, so let's move to another stock. C. C is one of the most active stock. Number 6 siya or number 7, pero hindi po siya, it's not an index stock. Ha? Chelsea Logistics is the logistical arm of Dito. So when Dito moves up, C also moves up. And this was manifested yesterday. Okay, there is another green candlestick, and the stock moved higher, and it had a 7.46% increase from 507 to 533. And if you look at the stock, its 52-week high is 7.18. But here, it reached a high of 9 pesos, 9.36. This is, I think, 2019, July. So, it's just at 533 level. So, you can see how much more the stock can go up. And one thing good about this trade today is that there is volume. So, several days na po mayroong volume. And if you will see, it started to consolidate. Normally kasi bago mag-breakout, nag-consolidate mo muna yan. Represented by the 3 indicators slashing through the candlesticks. And if you see the candlesticks, napaka-liit ng candlestick body. At dito, nagkaroon ng body na, no? Indicating that there is accumulation or volume. Check na natin yung DMI or Directional Movement Index. Yan, 51. Napakalakas. Napakalakas nitong stock na ito. Now, again, if you will enter, just like dito and the other stocks, if you will enter, make sure that you have your risk management in place. Meron po tayong dapat na nilagay na stop loss sa ating trading plan. Ini-emphasize ko po ulit yun. Now, another good thing about C is that there was net foreign buying. Ibig sabihin that foreign institutions have high regard for the stock and the potential of the stock to go upwards. But then again, wag po tayong aasa sa mga ganito. Kailangan pong meron tayong risk management. So let's move on to URC. URC recently bought some of the assets of Ross Holdings. And URC now moved up 2.5 points or 1.85% higher than the previous day. It's a second green candlestick with above average volume. You see the DMI. Let's take a look at there. So, what is my assessment of this stock? Well, based on technical analysis, the nearest resistance or nearest ceiling is here, 140. Yan yung nearest ceiling niya or nearest resistance niya. So, most likely dito siya magbabounce sa 140. However, if it continues to move up because of a strong demand, the next resistance is 144. 144.8 or 0.7 within that area. The resistance is an area. It is not an exact point in the price. And if you will see, the 52-week high is 163, but it reached a high of noong July, it reached a high of 177. So, nasa 137 pa lang siya. So, pwede pa siyang to move higher. And URC is one of the more stable stocks in the index. Pagka namimili tayo ng grocery, hindi kagad na nasisira yung kanyang mga pagkain, yung mga instant noodles, yung mga orange juice, you can stock it up. And it is very convenient to do that, to buy their items during times of quarantine like we are in now. I expect URC to move within this range. So the support level is here, 132, and the resistance level is nakita na natin sa 140. So if you're doing range trading, you can probably enter at 132, 131, and exit at 140. But you'll have to compute your risk-reward ratio. So the ideal ratio is 1:2 for position traders and swing traders, while 1:1 pwede na sa mga day traders. So, what's the next stock? Now had another green day today, but the body of the candlestick is smaller, meaning that the closing price is not very far from the opening price. So it just moved 0.65, 7 points, 0.07 points from opening. However, this is green because the comparison of 3.72 is against the previous day's closing price of 3.45. So 0.27, kaya 0.27 to. The difference between 3.72 and the closing price of 3.45 previous na yan. Again, the nearest support of now is here, 2.9 or probably at 3. And the nearest resistance is 3.77 or 3.8, somewhere there. And I expect the stock to move sideways. Actually, baka mag-consolidate or baka pwede pang mag-move upward to without if the volume would hold. Kasi dito walang gaanong volume eh. So ang ina-expect ko, just an average volume. So I expect the stock to move probably higher or just mag-sideways muna. Okay, let's see the next. Another telco. Ito matatag to. Tel. Nag-bounce si Tel. And it's an engulfing candlestick. So it reached a high of 1384. And it closed at 1364 or 1.79% higher, 24 points higher. So what do I expect from this stock? I expect it to move within, well, I expect the stock to move sideways. Ito yung support. And the nearest resistance is here. Sometimes kumakagat to, sometimes hindi. So I'll have to repeat this action there. 1392 to 1400. Again, support and resistance are areas. They are not exact points in the price. Okay, so you see here that there is volume just on the average, but since this is the second candlestick, I expect the stock to move a bit higher in the coming days. Okay, there was net foreign selling on the stock. Okay, let's go to Merrimart. Si Merrimart naman is nag-bounce, and it is higher than the MA20. But there were wicks on both ends, indicating that the prices move higher, but sellers push it down to the closing. And there were a lot of sellers, but buyers push it up back to the opening and settling to the closing price higher than the opening. So what do I expect of this stock? I expect it to move sideways. This is the nearest support. The nearest resistance is here. Sometimes kumakagat to, sometimes hindi. Yan. The resistance is 325. The support is 2.90 within that area. Net foreign selling siya, pero malit lang. Let's go to IDC. I think IDC had a good day. Breakout yata to. Yan, tama nga, breakout. Para sa mga nakapasok the day before, I expected the stock to move higher because of the volume. Nag-breakout nga si IDC. And the breakout resulted to a 10% increase or 0.22. So if you were able to get in the closing price of 210 yesterday, kumita kayo ng 10% if you were able to get out at 236, 235 level. Or if you continue to hold on to the stock. By the way, there was net foreign buying on the stock. So what do I expect from the stock? Probably it may move higher the next day. Actually, it already reached it's a June 2-month high. It's a 2-month high already. The 52-week high is 588. But the nearest resistance, let's use the 1-week time frame. Nearest resistance niya, ito, 317. O, masyado nang malayo yan. Tingnan natin. 3.5, pero hindi rin eh. So, tingnan muna natin sa 3.6 ang nearest resistance niya. But next resistance that I see, dito na eh. 378. So, malalayo na yung kanyang resistance actually. Yan. For now, tingnan natin si support and resistance via Investa. Baba lang, 2.74. Pero, plotting it manually, 2.61 is a reasonable resistance. Balik natin sa 1 day. Kasi kung minsan, hindi ko na ipabalik to 1 day. Nasa 1 week. I do kasi the analysis based on a 1 day time frame. So, nearest resistance niya is dito. 2.61. And I expect the stock to move a bit higher, but make sure that you have risk management, ha? Kasi, pagka sinabi kong higher, pagkatapos, sinabi ni Benji, ganito, ganon. No. Sa akin lang naman kasi that's how I see it based on technical analysis. But my view can be wrong, of course. Diba? It is you who will be doing the investing, not me. So, ang paalala ko lang po lagi, and lagi kong pinapaalala through the reminders and like this, telling you plainly that that is how I see where prices will go. But that is not 100% guaranteed. Okay? Hindi po yan 100% guaranteed. Sana magkatotoo. Diba? And based on the technicals, that's how I see it. And most likely, it happens. But sometimes it doesn't. So make sure that you have your risk management ready. Walang sisihan po ito. Okay po? Salamat po. Wag po kayo magagalit sa akin. Ano po? Ako po ay tumutulong lang po. Okay. So, I expect the stock to move. Baka mag-consolidate o magkaroon ng isang red candlestick kung magpa-profit taking. But the volume here would indicate that it would move higher in the coming days. Okay, let's talk about green. Si green moved higher today. 2.33 from the previous day of 2.23, 10 points, 0.10 higher. And ito yung mga patterns na kung makikita mo talaga yung trend ng stock, you will see the candlestick is above the MWIDE, indicating a bullish trend. And if it touches the and if the candlestick touches the MWIDE, it bounces upwards. You know. Pangalawa is that you will see all the indicators pointing up. The 20-day moving average, the 50-day exponential moving average, and the long-term 100-day, all pointing upwards, indicating a bullish trend. So, nag-start yan dito. So, based on my setup, the moment the MWIDE crosses the MA50, it is a buy signal for me. And that is my setup. You can also do that setup, pero you may have your own setups also. But this is the setup that works for me. So, if I followed my setup, I could have bought here, held on to the stock, and dito, kumita na ako. So, if I bought here, for example, at, example lang po ito, no? I bought on May with the stock at, say, 127. Okay siya, 127. At hinawakan ko lang. Dahil nakikita ko na yung candlestick mas mataas kaysa doon sa indicator ko. Dito, hinawakan ko pa rin siya dahil mas mataas pa sa MA50, pataas pa rin yan. At dito, 233 na. So, yung price dito na 127 and 133, example lang, kumita ako ng piso dito, di ba? Almost more than a peso. So, if I bought 10,000 shares, kumita na ako ng 10,000 pesos. Di ba? And that was May, June, July, August, September, in 5 months. Kumita ako ng 10,000 pesos. And ang pinaka investment ko lang is 127, di ba? 127. 127,000. Okay? 127,000 yung aking investment. And tama ka ba? Na 1.27 times 10,000 or 12,700. 12,700. Tapos 12,700 tapos nasa 2.33 times 10. 23. Nasa 23 na. So, kumita ko ng 10,000. Di ba? 10,000, that's 1.27. 1 over 1.27. 78% or 79% in a matter of June, July, August, September, October. 7.78% times 2. So, that's about 150%, 160%. No? Yun mo? Kung ganun ang ginawa mo dito sa green, di kumita ka ng 150%, 2 times. Kung i-analyze mo natin. Of course, ito, 5-month period lang itong 78% or 79%. Okay? Pero, tulad nga sinasabi ko sa inyo lagi, mga kaibigan, kailangan may risk management tayo dito. Kasi, kung halimbawa, hindi tumaas yan, bumagsak. E di, paano yun kung bumagsak? Di talo ka, di ba? So, you lose your shirt. Kung wala kang risk management, at hindi mo in-unload yung shares mo, napakalaki ng talo mo. So, importante po yung risk management. High reward, high risk. So, yun po yung sa atin sa stock market. Kaya napaka-importante po ng risk management o yung ating stop loss. Okay po? So, next. Sorry po, lecture po tayo. Dahil personally po, ay okay, tapos na pa tayo sa MPY. Dito tayo sa MWIDE. MWIDE, it's just consolidating and it's moving within this range. So, alam nyo kasi, si MWIDE, dumadami yung projects nito eh. Although in the last quarter, lost sila. But, just imagine, no? Yung kanilang project sa Clark, 17-kilometer railway. Tapos meron silang airport project. Tapos meron silang yung NAIA project, kanila yun. And meron din silang project sa Paranaque, yung transportation terminal. They have a lot of good projects in the pipeline eh. And I expect the stock to move higher because of that. Ito, nag-register na siya ng green candlestick. And siguro another green to confirm that there is a sign of reversal. Okay. So I expect the stock to move sideways unless there is volume and it continues and it move upwards. So support is at 697 or near the 7 area, 7 peso area, and the resistance is at 775, 780 area. Well, net foreign buying siya. Okay, so that's it for this episode. And alam niyo, weekend na yun, ano? And 84 days na lamang ay Pasko na, di ba? Yan po yung ating report ngayon sa stock market, October 2, 2020. Thank God it's Friday. Ito po si Benji Chodoro, nagpapaalala, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Magkita-kita po tayo muli sa next episode. Happy weekend and bye for now.